Thank you for joining me today to discuss and learn about an aspect of our amazing essential oils that's sometimes overlooked, called diffusing. Those of you who know me, you know that I am not very scientific. However, this subject is one that has fascinated me for years. And I believe the science of how our oils affect us when inhaled is important for all of us to understand as we share with our customers and with our loved ones. Perhaps the biggest reason for my love for the diffusion of essential oils and the direct inhalation of the oils is because inhalation was my introduction to essential oils. Way back in the fall of 1999, I was in a very dark place in my life and was literally spending my days hiding in a closet. And it was a very lonely time for me, and I couldn't see a way out of it. And at that time, someone suggested to me that I meet this lady who used essential oils. And I was like overboard skeptical and cynical because I had used essential oils that I had got from the health food store, and they made me feel even worse. So long story short, I finally consented to go to this lady's house to hear what she had to say about essential oils. There's really nothing for me to lose. So off I went, and I was very ashamed of my condition. And I certainly didn't want this lady to know that I was in this dark place. So I simply told her that I'd come to learn about essential oils. And she kindly took out the Essential 7 kit. That's what we had at that time. And so she opened it up and she took out each oil and she put a drop in my hand and she had me smell it. And she explained to me what the oil did. And so I sat there and smelled them one by one. And when she came to lemon oil, she mentioned that the diffuser that was diffusing on the shelf just above my head, that's what had been diffusing the whole time, was lemon oil. And I hadn't even noticed it. And, she was diffusing lemon oil in what was called the Aromalux. Actually, it was called the TheraPro. We have the Aromalux now. And what she was diffusing was the TheraPro. And the TheraPro is what we had at that time. And these are oils, these are diffusers that mist the oil into the air. And so it was sitting there diffusing the whole time. And so after she pointed out the micro mist of the lemon oil, she went on to have me smell the rest of the oils in the Essential 7 kit, which included lavender and joy and panaway, peace and calming, peppermint, and purification. And when she finished telling me about those oils, all I did was just sit there and I didn't say anything. And all that I was thinking was, how can I get out of here without telling her anything about me? I didn't want to get into that, or I didn't want her to ask me. And so in her wisdom, as I sat there, she just picked up the Aroma Complete kit that was now called the Premier Collection. And one by one, she had me smell all of the oils in that kit while she explained it. And finally, after almost 4 hours of smelling and inhaling these amazing oils, I stood up and told her, thank you, and that I had to go now. And I stepped outside of the door. And as I was standing there on her doorstep, I'll never forget staring wide-eyed at the sky and at the trees and saying in my mind, in absolute wonder, oh, the sky is blue and the trees are green. And, because of the dark cloud that I'd been living in, I couldn't remember the last time that I'd seen color. And, this had nothing to do with my vision. It had everything to do with how I was feeling. And I noticed that the grass was green and that it had blades and that there was individual blades and that the trees had leaves, individual leaves. And as I paused in fascination, as I was going to open the car door, I was surprised to see that the detail of the door handle and the shininess of it. And I was in awe. And, somehow my world had completely shifted in those few short hours of inhaling the aromas of these premium essential oils and of being enveloped in the diffusion of lemon oil. So as you can imagine, I was fascinated, and I have never stopped studying and inhaling essential oils since that day till now. And so let's start our time together right now with a little history lesson on the inhalation of essential oils. The term aromatherapy was coined by a French chemist, René Maurice Gattefossé, in the early 1900s. And Gattefossé devoted his life to the study of essential oils. And although he termed the word aromatherapy, Gattefossé wasn't the first one to use essential oils. So for more than 6,000 years prior, aromatherapy had been used by the Egyptians, by the Romans, by the Greeks. And in the 27th century BC, an Egyptian physician had used them for massage and for beautification and for bathing, for embalming, so many reasons. And also there is a Greek known as, that we know as Hippocrates, and he was born in 460 BC, and he was regarded as the father of modern medicine. And he advocated aromatic baths and massages. And this isn't something that's new. He was well respected and is a pioneer in this industry. And so obviously essential oils have been used in many ways, which we are still doing today. And, another way that Young Living uses them, that we use them in our company, is supplementation. Young Living offers essential oil infused supplements because essential oils can help transport nutrients and make them more bioavailable for cellular metabolism. And of course, there's diffusion, my favorite, which can be compared to the aromatic smoke that Hippocrates used. Diffusing these molecules, these lipid-soluble structures of essential oils, allows them to easily penetrate the cell membrane of our noses. This is also, similar of what happens when we topically apply it. The molecules are available for us to smell, but topical application is still another way that we use the oils. And I know that there's many brand partners who rightfully encourage this method. And yes, essential oils, when applied topically, are wonderful. And even better, if you inhale them before you topically apply them, it delivers to a much, much better result for us. This is why we so often say that inhalation is as important and maybe even more important than the topical application. The aroma has a profound effect on our minds, on our thinking and our feelings, and thus our attitude, affecting all of our actions and everything that we do in our lives. This is why the use of oils is called aromatherapy, and why in ancient history, aromatherapy was so important. And as we've already discovered this. So let me share this simple truth that right here, right now, up until this point in your life, everything that you have in your life, you have either attracted or allowed because of your attitude. Our attitude determines the energy that comes from our bodies and what we energetically attract back to ourselves. And maybe about now you're asking, so what does that have to do with the diffusion of essential oils? Well, for me, it has everything to do with it. Because as I experienced when I was introduced to the oils, and there is no one thing that helped me more and that helps others more than with my attitude, with our attitudes, than the direct inhalation of the micro mist diffusion of essential oils. And so we offer two types of diffusers in Young Living, the water mist and the micro mist. And, with water mist diffusers, you're adding the essential oil to the water in the reservoir of the diffuser. And when the two come together, the oil molecules attaches to the water molecule to form the moisture mist that the diffuser disperses into the air. The water molecule adds weight to the mist, so it's a little bit heavier and it doesn't stay suspended in the air for as long. The micro mist diffuser does not use water. It uses only the air pump that blows through the oil. And this creates a lighter mist that stays in the air longer, delivering this micro mist of pure molecules to the olfactory system. And this means that you're getting an even stronger benefit than with the water diffuser. So both types of diffusers are wonderful. And today, I'm really going to focus on the micro mist diffusion of the essential oils, such as that was delivered in the Aromalux. And, this diffuser, the Aromalux. And so with Young Living, they have this innovative air pump that oils are dispersed into this microfine vapor, allowing them to be suspended in the air for extended periods of time. And the oils must be dispersed with cold air diffusion in order to preserve the integrity of the oil. The air pump disperses the oils without heating them, so they retain their delicate properties and therapeutic benefits. One micro mist diffuser has the capability to cover 1,100 square foot area. Amazing. And so I suggest to my customers that they begin diffusing for, 15 to 30 minutes a day. And, as they become more accustomed to the oils and recognize their benefits or their effects, I encourage to increase the diffusing time to 1 to 3 hours a day, and even longer if they prefer. These days, my micro mist diffusers, with an S on, diffusers, run 24/7. One of them on every level of my home. It's been hypothesized that when essential oils are diffused, they can increase atmospheric oxygen by releasing oxygenating molecules into the air. And that's what we're breathing. So often, as a result of inhaling essential oils, we experience this relaxation in our body, this release of tension. And we feel clearer in our minds. We have improved concentration, alertness, mental clarity. We just feel happier and more content. And so how does this happen? Well, it's an interesting fact that all 6 of our senses are wired directly to the rational cortex, the reasoning cortex of our brain, except for our sense of smell. And our sense of smell is wired directly to the emotional cortex of our brain, the limbic system. And so this is why we have an emotional response to a fragrance, to an aroma, before we have a logical one. And so this distinction might sound a little bit technical, yet it's critical for us to remember because the essential oils are going directly to the center of our memory, our emotion, and motivation. Did you get that? Did you hear that? Let me say it again. The diffused molecules of essential oils are going directly to the center of our memory, affecting us in every area of our daily living. It's like, wow. So that's why the physical inhalation of the oils is so important. And that's kind of the journey of the inhaled essential oils. And so, as I alluded to earlier, when I talked about the importance of our attitude, that's another factor that determines how oils affect us. That it's our thoughts and our intentions that make the difference. So when you use the oils, it's critical for you to originate and focus on the thought that you want the oils to emphasize. Whatever thoughts you are thinking is the responsibility of yourself. It is not the responsibility of the oil. So in essence, and no pun intended, any oil will help. You are the one directing the oil. Yes, certain oils are believed to have, specifically aligned frequencies that will align with specific emotional frequencies, as Gary so delicately and adeptly formulated and named these oils for us. So let me share an example. Perhaps you're using the oil of believe, and you want it to help you believe something, and such as believing that you are capable of achieving the goal that you have set. And in order for the oil to support that thought, you must constantly think the thought and focus on your intent. You create the thought or the idea, and you hold it in your mind, and you use the oil to support you. The oil alone will not automatically create the belief. Does that make sense? It makes sense. So since we're together right now, right here, you and me, let's experience some oils using a bit of a guided implementation. Let's start with creating a thought that you want to focus on based on everything that you've learned here at convention. What do you really want to achieve in this next month? Write down your goal or practice that you want to implement that you've learned from the speakers. Only one thing. There's maybe many things that you've learned and they all feel good. Just pick one. Pick one. And now that you have your thought identified, write it down. Let's use lemon oil with that thought. Since lemon was my introduction to essential oils, and it's such an uplifting, beautiful fragrance, I want you to put a drop in your hand. Just put a drop of the oil in your hand. Gently smooth your palms together. And then I really like this to be done with your eyes closed. I do it with my eyes closed. You might want to open your eyes right now because you're watching. But when you're doing this on your own, do it with your eyes closed. And so you just cup your hands under your nose. Take a really, really deep inhalation. It's not just like smelling it, but take a deep, deep inhalation. And then hold it at the top of your breath. And then gently blow it out. And do this 3 times. Oh, it's so beautiful. And when you repeat that 3 times and just feel that inhalation of that, and then immediately open your eyes and write down the first thought or the first feeling that came to you in relationship with a thought that you identified at the beginning. And so don't judge it or analyze it or attempt to figure it out, or just simply notice it and write it down. So I just want you to take a moment and do this. Let's go ahead, do that right now. And you're probably going to need more time when you're doing this on your own later, or you can pause, hit the pause button and take time to do this and really allow the oil to help support what it is that you're desiring to have happen. And then I would like you, after that, to just spend a little moment with me while we create some routines that we can use with these amazing oils. And some of my favorite routines, one of them is called Win the Day. And for that, I use Abundance and Northern Lights Black Spruce. And so these two oils, they go into my diffuser. I put those oils into my diffuser. And then I do deep inhalations of highest potential and rise above. I hope you have these oils and that you use them so why do I choose these oils? Well, the fragrance of Abundance, the oil of Abundance and Northern Lights Black Spruce, they're just oils that help me to lift my spirits, to let go of negative thinking and just to focus on my goal. And inhaling highest potential and rise above, they just help me lift my thoughts to see above the obstacles and just focus on possibilities. I think that's something all of us can use. And then at the end of the day, I like the blend I use then, the routine that I have chosen for that time of the day is called Clean the Slate. And, in order to get good sleep, have a good night's rest, Gary always suggested that we write down all of the things that we had in our mind, just to clean that slate, to write it down and let go of all the things we're thinking about, what we need to do tomorrow or the next day or the next week, and just write it down so our mind is clear and ready to rest. And so that's why I called this my nighttime routine, Clean the Slate. And for that routine, I use present time and cedarwood. Present time and cedarwood. Cedarwood goes into the diffuser and it runs all night long. And so before I, am completely done for the day, I do the deep inhalations of present time. And so that brings me like here, right now. And it helps me to let go of all, the illusions of time and just simply be present right here now in this moment. And so this routine and these oils make it easy for me to just unwind and feel at peace. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to go and get your Northern Lights Black Spruce, and I want you to put it into your Aromalux diffuser, set it for the time you want it to run, and turn it on. And if you don't have an Aromalux diffuser, put it on your next order. My belief is that everyone needs one of these diffusers running 24/7 in their homes. And I have one in every floor in my house, plus in my bedroom. And so this is not an option for me. This is part of my life. This is part of my daily routines. And, because you are here right now in this workshop, experiencing this with me, I know that you are becoming as fascinated by the inhalation of oils as I have been all these years. And for those of you who are just maybe newer, learning more, this is more the beginning, just getting started with essential oils. There's so many resources that you can go and study, research, learn for yourselves. However, one of my most recent places to go and get information has been from the Wild Drop podcast with Jacob Young. I love this podcast. I love Jacob and I love the podcast he's doing. And he's just going through the history of Young Living and even some of it from his perspective of growing up as a child under the tutelage of Gary and Mary Young. He also has interviews with people from the early years of Young Living, from the roots, sharing their stories and their experiences. And so it's fun, it's engaging, it's educational, And it connects us back to the roots of our company, the heart and the purpose that we were founded on. It's really wonderful, and I recommend it for all of our brand partners. So in addition to this resource, one of the best pieces of advice that I was ever given was from Marcella von Harding, our Royal Crown Diamond, many, many years ago. And anytime I'd ask a question, or well, most of the time, often when I would ask a question, she would say, go to the library, go look it up, do your research. And, that trained me to seek out the information for myself and to build my own understanding, and not to lean on someone else's, but to get my own experiences. And so, I'll tell you the same thing today. Don't simply take what I say or believe what I say. Go and prove it for yourself. Use these oils and products and see how uniquely they support you and your family and your customers. In this way, you're going to build your own knowledge and your own belief and your own stories regarding these young living essential oils. And you can as you develop your own stories and your own experiences, you have powerful tools to share with others. I'm really excited that here at convention, that Young Living is introducing some exciting new oils for us, our new convention blends. And I'm so looking forward to experiencing them for myself. There's the ones that Jacob and Kate have put together, the simplified line, which includes orange creamsicle, topical tango, and seaside. And this is the names are so appealing to me. And I just feel like almost like the scents are going to be able to transport me to this tropical paradise. And then there's the third one of our special collection, the One Collection. And so in 2020, we had the One Heart. In 2021, we had the One Voice. And this year, the final in the trio is being introduced, One Purpose. Love it. And so I'm thrilled that we have these new oils. And I'm also very excited that over the next few months, 12 months or so, Young Living will be providing us with even more new innovative diffusers, and super looking forward to that. It's been my pleasure to share my love of diffusing and inhalation of our oils with you today. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. And I encourage you to soak up everything that you learn here at convention and bring it home to your families, to your customers, implement it into your life, into your story, and into your business. Thank you. Have a wonderful aromatic day.